Good afternoon, Elise. Welcome back to Breakaway.
Hi, Alison.
Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm happy I have enough time to speak with you in between two bread making.
Well, we're going to get into that because I find your entrepreneurial journey very fascinating, and it has evolved from brewing beer to baking sourdough bread. What inspired this transition?
I wanted something that's that would be more simpler, closer to the ingredients. Like it was getting bigger and bigger in the brewing industry, so I decided to go back to the roots and put my hands in it.
But specifically to artisanal bread making, how does that reflect your personal values and your desire to go back to the ingredients?
I wanted to make something coherent, like energy-wise, trying to use only sourdough, no yeast, using only organic ingredients, doing also at a human size.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the bakery is all bread is ordered, so I don't make too much bread. I don't have any loss. There's no food spoilage. So that was the main idea for it. Yeah.
Is that what you found to be the case in your previous business?
No, it's not. It's not because of the previous business. It's just I wanted to do something. Like it's hard when a business gets bigger. It's hard to stick with the coherence. So I wanted to just be able to express myself to that.
Mm-hmm. Was there a specific event or something that happened in your life that you decided to make that choice?
Since my transition, I decided to be myself.
Mm-hmm.
So being more and more myself is not just suiting, but relieving for me. So being able to be who I am and to express it to the people by making something I like, and I also discover it's hard to make bread. Sourdough is a hard job.
Absolutely.
It's not just physical, but it's like a lot of knowledge to be learned. So it's a good mental challenge that I like.
Mm-hmm. How did you learn? Where did you learn, and in what environment did you learn?
I'm a self-taught person. I met Maxime, which is a baker in Montreal. Magdelene Islands. He's the owner of Blade Pays, which is a bakery that only uses sourdough too, and it's calculating all the ingredients that are coming in and all the breads. I've kilometers that all the ingredients I've traveled to get to the bakery. So I really like the idea. I found it what I wanted to do. So this was my inspiration, and I just wanted to do it for the islands because I live in a tiny community, and there were no good breads around here. So here I am.
How important is it for you to offer something that's so genuine and useful to local residents of your community of the Magdelen Islands?
I mean, I don't want to have a business that's targeting the masses. I want to have a business that's targeting the passionates. I want to have a business that all the people that are passionate will recognize the passion and that will come back to me. So I prefer to have less clients, make less bread, but having a good feedback from those customers,
mm-hmm.
and be able to push myself towards greater breads.
Greater breads with ingredients that are completely rooted in your environment, the environment of the Magdelen Islands, but also Prince Edward Island, where your flour comes from. Tell me a little bit about your desire to use caraway seeds or dune pepper, for example.
I love foraging. I've been foraging for 2 decades. I love the spices and the herbs that grows on the island. I think they are by themselves genuine, more expressing because of the harsh climate. So putting them into my bread is a goal. I mean, I've always worked with spices. I love them. But it's not that all my breads contain spices, but it's really important to me. So one of the greatest part of my baking journey is to go foraging for spices and herbs. So it's really important for me. And then the second goal is to have more and more ingredients that are closer to me, that I not have to travel far away. So, for example, I was working in the beginning with La Milanaise, which is a really good flour mill, but they could not guarantee me that the provenance from of the wheat. So they were saying, some wheat comes from Montérégie in Quebec, others from North Montreal, and others from Manitoba. And I was like, okay, is there a follow-up number I can figure out which wheat comes from where? And they were like, no. So I just prefer to work with smaller businesses, smaller mills that can guarantee me that the ingredients are coming closer to where I am, so I can offer a product that's more environmentally coherent.
How do you convey that to your consumers? Bread making is an art. I can see it's a challenge in and of itself, but I feel as though you're going above and beyond through that challenge, through the traceability of your ingredients. Why is that important to you?
Because, like the climate change crisis, it's not. We need to do something, and it starts with moves. It starts with ideas. It starts with believing that we can do something. And I want to help people do their part. If it's on the bread side, it's going to be on the bread side. I mean, bringing bread on a table that's good, that's organic, that's well made, and that's made with ingredients that are coming closer to the bakery is one way to help for the climate crisis. It's not what's going to happen. That's important is what we are doing to not make it happen. So whatever we can do is important, and I think that we don't have enough leverage to do stuff. Like my feeling is that people feel that they don't have enough leverage, enough ways to do it, but there's plenty. And buying good bread is a good one.
Yeah, and it's good for you at the same time. It's easier to digest. It has, that natural acidity that goes through a slice of bread. Tell me a little bit about your leaven, because that's where the work begins. Apart from the ingredients, does your leaven have a name? That sounds like an odd question, but I feel as though every baker has a name for their leaven.
Yeah, my leaven's called Mademoiselle.
Wow.
And, yeah, she was created by two friends of mine, two girls who had that leaven forever, and then it has been saved by another of my friends because the girls were out for a vacation and they were having friends in the house, and the leaven was in the fridge. And the friends said, let's make a cleanup of the fridge, and then they throw it away.
Wow.
And then by luck, one of my friends had a part of it, so because she wanted to start into sourdough, so she saved it. So Mademoiselle is almost 20 years old right now, and
wow.
Since she's at home, I take great care of her, and I try to figure out how to encourage her to be like these form. So that's a way to make better bread out of sourdough. Like not better bread, but less acidic and more yeast, strong in yeast.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, definitely more truthful, right? And that just completely embodies your values from what I'm listening to you and what I know of you from your past entrepreneur. I'm sorry, I have trouble with that word. Entrepreneurial in English journeys. Speaking your truth has always been something very, very meaningful to you. How do you see now that you've created this bread making company that is human scale, that is rooted in your values, that I feel has a very meaningful impact on your community? What are your hopes for your business for the future?
I hope it's sustainable. I hope it's already sustainable, but I hope it's going to last a long time. I hope people will get more and more used to making moves towards a more sustainable future. Like my bread is kind of complicated to get. You need to order the bread. You pay a little more for that kind of a product compared to the commercial ones that are available on the island. I'm not making bread every day. Like the bakery is open only one day a week. So there's some drawbacks, and I hope that people will get into it, like acknowledge that it's important and then keep it running for a long time.
We are broadcasted here, breakaway across the province of Quebec, and we do reach a lot of remote or rural areas. There are possibly some people listening right now who are very inspired by your words. What advice would you give them? People who dream of launching meaningful community-focused ventures in more remote rural areas of Quebec.
I think it's possible if you have the community support. I feel lucky that I had a name prior to that. I had a reputation before I started the bakery, so people were aware that I existed and aware that I could do something coherent. I think it doesn't have to be huge to be livable from. I think, and by the way, you asked me about inspiration, and I went to Natashquan, and there was that guy who was making two loaves of bread a day, and he was selling one. And I had the chance one day to get one of his loaves, and it was incredible. And it was a tiny business, so I went there and saw his tiny bakery, and he was also selling some organic vegetables. And I was like, okay, that's tiny, that's perfect, that's coherent to me. Like, it's a tiny village with a tiny bakery and a tiny garden, and it's working. So I think it can be whatever you want it to be, as long as you think about the ingredients, as long as you think about the process, to make it viable and intelligent.
Mm-hmm. Make it real. Truth forward.
Yeah.
Elise, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. I really appreciate it. And I do very honestly wish you a very long, long journey with this project, or as long as you want it to last.
Thank you, Alison. And I wish you can come back and we have a great loaf together.
I promise.
Thank you.